Now at 5, everyone from couples trying to have children to state lawmakers continuing to scramble after that landmark Alabama Supreme Court decision defining embryos as children.
Yeah, that decision a week ago today, and it allowed a wrongful death lawsuit in Mobile to go forward against Infirmary Health System. But it's also upended the IVF industry. Fox 10's Brendan Kirby is in the news center with more on this.
And Brendan, there is a lot of pressure to find clarity in all of the conversation about this controversy over IVF.
There is, Byron and Shelby. Medical providers are concerned. People are calling their state representatives, lawmakers trying to figure out the best way to respond. But there is one concern that prosecutors are working to allay. They say that this Supreme Court ruling won't lead to criminal prosecutions. In vitro fertilization clinics in Mobile and elsewhere in Alabama are halting operations to take stock of a state Supreme Court ruling that opens them to potential civil liability. State Representative Matt Simpson, a Daphne Republican who represents part of the Eastern Shore, says he's glad the ruling came while the legislature is in session and there's time for lawmakers to act.
You know, every day that we're not getting something done on this is another day that families have to suffer through this process. We need to do something as quick as we possibly can. The leadership has taken a statement that they are going to make sure this is a priority and it is fast-tracked and gone through, and I fully support that.
The IVF process involves taking eggs and fertilizing them in a lab before implanting them in a woman's uterus in an attempt to induce pregnancy. Pausing this process in Alabama has caused angst among couples who are relying on the process to conceive children. Gulf Shores resident Michelle Howard, who's pregnant with a child conceived through in vitro fertilization, says she's heard from a friend whose IVF appointment next month has been put on hold.
And I cannot imagine what that feels like. I can't imagine your heart literally being ripped out of your chest because you've been waiting for this for a long time. The wait list to get into an IVF clinic right now is insane. You can't just call and get an appointment.
Some even have raised the specter of criminal prosecutions. The University of Alabama at Birmingham said it was pausing IVF in part out of concerns that doctors could face criminal charges. The American Society of Reproductive Medicine also expressed concern that treatments might lead to criminal charges. But Alabama Attorney General Steve Marshall's office said Friday that it does not intend to bring criminal prosecutions. And Mobile County District Attorney Keith Blackwood tells me that shouldn't be an issue for offenses like murder or manslaughter, since the law doesn't apply to embryos outside of the body.
As far as in the criminal realm, the definition of a person for the purposes of homicide or assault includes an unborn person in utero, regardless of viability. So, the term in utero would not apply in the IVF situation.
It should be noted that even if the legislature acts, it could still be open to a legal challenge. Chief Justice Tom Parker wrote in a concurring opinion last week suggesting that the constitutional amendment that voters passed in 2018 supersedes the courts and the legislature. Reporting live in the News Center, Brendan Kirby, Fox 10 News.